Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Beatle Dave calling to you from Derbyshire in the United Kingdom. Now for this little video I thought I'd do something a little bit different. It's not going to be about the Beatles for once. It's going to be like my sort of like top 10 albums that mean something special to me. So they're not necessarily worth a lot of money, but to me they're like priceless, or they got me into listening to artists and things like that. So like I say, it's nothing to do with the Beatles on this one, so I will apologise now because it is Beatle Dave, but you know we do specials now and again. I did see a video similar to this over Christmas, and I thought, yeah, that is actually a good idea, because as a collector, not everything that you collect is valuable, like in money. It could be valuable to you because of certain memories or times in your life and things like that. So I thought, yeah, I can do that with 10. So the first album I'm going to show you. So some of these albums I've mentioned in other videos, but you know, it'd be nice for you to see them. The first album is probably one of my most treasured albums, to be honest. And it's not by the Beatles, and it's not worth a great deal of money. It is one of the albums that I would hate for something to happen to it. It's actually Buddy Holly, and it's called That'll Be the Day. Now, I got this wrong the other day because I did actually mention this, and I thought it was actually called the Buddy Holly Story, but it's actually That'll Be the Day. And this album actually belonged to my mum. And then when she was having a clear out a few years ago, she actually gave it to me. Well, I say a few years ago. So, to be honest, it was when mum and dad split up, so that's how long ago it was. And it is on Ace of Hearts label. So that is side. It's actually in good nick as well. That is on side 1. And that is side 2. And the condition on this, yeah, there's a few little like marks on it, but there's nothing like deep. You can't feel anything. Original recording in America by Decca Records, Inc., New York. That's what that says on there. Made in England by the Decca Record Co. If I remember rightly, this record came out, I think it was not long after the death of Buddy Holly. And my mum had always been a really, really big Buddy Holly fan. And I think this was actually one of the first like proper LPs she bought, because I think before that it was like 78s and stuff. So this is what I mean. It's not worth a lot, but to me it's priceless because it was my mum's. I mean, luckily my mum is still with us, but you know, so it's got the memories of my mum listening to this and then me listening to it with my mum when I was growing up and things like that. So on this you get obviously it's called That With the Day. So side 1, you are my one desire. Blue Days and Black Nights. Modern Don John. Rock Around with Olive V. Tingling. Girl on My Mind. Then side 2 is That'll Be the Day. Love Me. I'm Changing All Those Changes. Don't Come Back Knocking. A Midnight Shift. So although it is Buddy Holly, I think some of these were actually recorded before he was famous, because I know the version on here of That'll Be the Day isn't the version that was the hit. Like I say, value-wise, it's not the most valuable record that I had. But to me, it is one of my most treasured possessions. And it always will be a treasured possession because, you know, after listening to Buddy Holly, that turned me on to things like the Everly Brothers, which in turn made me listen to people like the Beatles and then the Hollies, and then get into record collecting and things like that. So yes, this would be my number 1 treasured album that's not probably isn't worth a great deal. It's probably worth 10, maybe 15 pounds at the most, but to me it's just priceless. So that's number 1. That's Buddy Holly. That'll Be the Day. All right, what we got now? Number 2, and this album isn't particularly worth a great deal. I think I've had this since I was a kid, to be honest, or one very similar to this. And it's Hey Hey, Hey Hey, it's the Monkeys 20 Smash Hits. So this is basically a compilation of Monkeys hits. So you've got Theme from the Monkeys, Last Train to Clarksville, I'm a Believer, I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, I Want to Be Free, A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You, You Just May Be the One, Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow, Sometime in the Morning, Randy Scarskit, or alternative title as they sometimes call it, Side 2, Pleasant Valley Sunday, What Am I Doing Hanging Around, For Pete's Sake, Shades of Grey, Daydream Believer, Valerie, D.W. Washburn, Teardrop City, Someday Man, and Listen to the Band. That's, I think this might be an American copy. I'm not 100% sure. Just bear with folks. It's on Platinum Music, whoever they were. It's actually made in Germany. I think this was like from the mid 70s, which would probably be about right. If it was mid to late 70s, that's probably when I bought it. There's actually a slight scratch there, but the B side or side 2 looks pretty good. That's a lot of wear really. So that's the label for the A side or side 1, and that's the label for the B side. Again, you can tell now we're into the 70s because the vinyl is very, very thin. Yeah, so I used to watch, like many of you out there, I can't really remember the Monkeys from when the Monkeys were actually the Monkeys. In the UK, we got to see the Monkeys in the 70s, well, on Saturday morning kids TV, and that is how I got into the Monkeys. And when I saw that, I thought, yeah, it's the Monkeys. I'll buy it. Again, it's not worth a great deal. Probably worth anywhere between £5 and £10. But to me, that is, see, this is the first Monkeys album that I got, and then I got the Monkeys, and then more of the Monkeys, and then the Birds, the Bees, and all that lot. So Birds, the Bees, and the Monkeys, and then Jones and whatever it was. And then one I didn't get was Head, to be honest. And then I've got a couple more compilations as well. But at least that is, I mean, that goes basically from when they started to when they finished on there, doesn't it? So yeah, brilliant. Even tells you height, eyes, hair. Davy Jones, birthplace, Manchester, England, height 5'3", hair brown, eyes brown, vocals tambourine and maracas. Mike Nesmith, birthplace, Dallas, Texas, height 6'1", hair brown, eyes brown, vocals and lead guitar. Peter Tork, birthplace, Washington, D.C., height 5'11", hair brown, eyes brown, vocals, bass and keyboards. Mickey Dolenz, birthplace, Los Angeles, California, height 6 foot, eyes brown, hair brown, vocals and drums. This compilation published and copyright Astra Records. Special thanks, Lister Sill. Made in Germany. Good. Again, not worth a lot. Say probably £10 to £15. The next one is Syd Barrett. As you know, Syd Barrett was the original lead singer and vocalist in Pink Floyd, although his time in the band didn't really last very long. When I started to get into Pink Floyd, which wasn't until the early 80s, to be honest with you, I saw this one day, and just because it said Syd Barrett on it, I thought, oh yeah. And this is actually a compilation of his first 2 albums, which was the Madcap Laughs and Barrett. I think so. It's on Harvest. So basically, it is just the Madcap Laughs and Barrett. So you've got songs like No Good Trying, Love You, Octopus, which was a big hit one. Well, should have been a big hit. Baby Lemonade, Love Song. So, like, for saying he was like sacked from Pink Floyd, on the Madcap Laughs, which was his first LP, it was actually produced by Dave Gilmour and Roger Waters. His second LP, Barrett, doesn't actually say who was produced by Dave Gilmore and Richard Wright. Dave Gilmore's on it, Richard Wright's on it. On his first album, who's on it? Let's say, does it? But they're very, very interesting records. And they're on the Harvest label, I think, if I remember rightly. Very, very heavyweight record. Again, I've got two copies of this. I've got this one and I've got the American version, which is exactly the same. And believe it or not, I play the American version more than this one because the American version is not in as good as condition. Trampoline, No Good Thing, Love You, No Man's Land, Dark Globe, Here I Go. All compositions by Syd Barrett. So that's Syd Barrett, the Madcap Laughs. So that's side one. And then on side two, we have Octopus, Golden Hair, Long Gone, She Took a Long Cool Look at Me, Feel, Six, It's If It's in You, and then Late Night. Again, this is in really, really nice condition. The original albums of these are worth quite a lot of money. I think either last year or the year before, these were actually reissued as albums that originally came out. I think they're still very, very expensive, though, to be honest with you. And this is one that, although I'm like saying these records might not be worth much, I think this one is actually worth quite a bit. So this is Barrett. Syd Barrett and Barrett. So that's side one. And that is side two. I will apologise if this becomes a bit of a long video. I'll try and make it as quick as I can. So you've got Gig Old Ant, Waving My Arms in the Air, I Never Lied to You, Wind and Dine, sorry, Woolpack, Efficient Elephant. I think it's an Efficient Elephant. Then you've got Baby Lemonade, Love Song, Dominoes, It's Obvious, Rats, and Massey. Again, really, really nice condition. I wouldn't say it's worthless. This is probably one that is probably still worth a little bit of money. But like I say, because if you watch some of my videos, you know, I think Syd Barrett was unsung hero in Pink Floyd, and I mean, in a lot of ways, he, you know, I mean, it was his band. He formed the band and everything, but he never really got the recognition that he deserved, I don't think. So if you ever can find these, or the American version, I think there's a German version as well. And like I say, they did reissue these as separate albums a couple of years ago. Whether you can still get them, I don't know. But I think this at the minute on eBay is going anywhere between £25 and £55 for that one. Like I say, I mean, compared to some of my records, that isn't a hell of a lot of money, but it is something that is still nice to have. And like I say, I do love Syd Barrett. Like I say, a bit of an unforgotten member of the rock fraternity in a lot of ways, a bit like Brian James. He's the forgotten member of Pink Floyd, and Brian James is the forgotten member of Rolling Stones, but yet they were their bands. They formed them two bands. Not together, obviously. Too little. The next one might be a bit of a surprise, but then again, it's not really, because you know I like 60s stuff. So this is Dave Clark 5, 25 thumping great hits. I mean, I bought this when I started to get into record collecting, so I presume this was the late 70s, maybe even early 80s. I'd got, you know, I'd heard of the Dave Clark 5 and things like that. But then around the early 80s or mid 80s, Dave Clark acquired the rights to Ready Steady Go. Was it Ready Steady Go? Yeah, Ready Steady Go. And they used to put on late at night on I think it was a Friday night. And the videos featuring the Dave Clark Five always seemed like they were better than the other videos that were defeated. Whether that was just a fluke or not, I don't know. But that's what got me into the Dave Clark Five. Like I said, I didn't know him before, so when I saw this, I thought, yeah, I'll get this because it's obviously all the hits. They get Glad All Over, Do You Love Me, Bits and Pieces. Can't You See That She's Mine, Catch As If You Can, Because, Over and Over, Reeling and a Rocking. You've Got What It Takes, Everybody Knows. That's side one. Side two, Good Old Rock and Roll, which is a medley of like Sweet Little 16, Long Tall Sally, Chantilly Lace, a whole lot of shaking going on and things like that. Then you've got Wild Weekend, The Wild Weekend, Here Comes Summer, Live in the Sky, Red Balloon, Come Home, Sweet City Woman, Sha-na-na, sha-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, hey, goodbye. Yeah, tis that song. Put a Little Love in Your Heart and Everybody Get Together. Like I say, it is the greatest hits, although I seem to think, Put a Little Love in Your Heart and Everybody Get Together was just Dave Clark and can't remember his name now. The lead singer, wasn't it? I can't remember. It'll come to me in a minute. I don't think it was released as. I think it's actually Dave Clark and Friends, if I remember rightly. I think that's what it was released as. Mike Smith wanted it, lead singer, but it was only Dave Clark and Mike Smith out the Dave Clark Five. But that was classed as Dave Clark and Friends. And then, I think it was Put a Little Love in Your Heart and Everybody Get Together was released as Dave Clark and Friends. Again, not worth a lot. You can pick this up off eBay for about £5 or £6. But then once I'd got this, I did get some of the original Dave Clark 5 LPs, like a session with and things like that. Very underrated band in a lot of ways. I think that, especially with the albums, I think that's why some of the original albums are worth quite a bit of money now, because they were soon classed as like a singles band, weren't they? A bit like the Hollies. Yeah. Again, if you ever see this one, please get it. It's on Polydor, which is a bit strange because I can't remember Dave Clark 5 being on Polydor. Is always on Columbia one, I think. Remember that? We want to have a look at the record. I've got it out. So you do get like a bit of introduction. So if you didn't know who the Dave Clark 5 were, there's Lenny Davidson, lead guitar, acoustic guitar and vocals. Vic Huxley, bass guitar, acoustic guitar and vocals. Dave Clark, drums, cushion and vocals. Mike Smith, lead vocals, piano and organ. And then Dennis Payton, tenor, baritone, saxes, harmonica, acoustic guitar and vocals. That's not too bad, isn't it, to be honest? A few marks on it. Side one. And that's side two. Again, same as 25 songs on it, like I say, you can usually pick it up for between £5 and £10. And that'd be for a nice copy like this. That is one of the LPs that got me into other 60s music, not just the Beatles as well. Next up, we've got Message from the Country. Now this is actually special for me in two ways. One, because this was actually the last LP The Move ever made as The Move. And I think compilation album did come out just after this. And also at the time that this was being recorded, Roy Wood, Bev Bevan and Jeff Lynne were also recording the first ELO album. So this and the first ELO album were like recorded virtually simultaneously, if I've got that right. So you got Message from the Country Ella James, No Time, Don't Mess Up Until Your Mum Is Gone. Side 2, It Wasn't My Idea to Dance. The Minister, Ben Cowley Street Company, The Words of Aaron, and My Marge. So that's the back. And that's the front. Slightly textured sleeve as well. Before I actually got this record, then the other ELO Move record I got was a compilation on Mr. Pickwick or something like that. Then we got this, and then it made me get some of the other Move records and some of the early ELO records as well. 1971. So it's on Harvest, and it's SHSP 4013, and it was actually released in 1971. So that's the A side. And it was actually produced by Roy Wood and Jeff Lynne. And that's the B side, or side 2. This is actually in nice condition as well for its age. And I do know this is actually worth quite a bit of money. Let's just say it's worth a lot more than I paid for it. Saying it's 1971, it has actually still got flip back sleeves. There, there, and there. And the spine's really nice. Don't think it was a massive seller when it came out, because I think by the time this came out, I think they'd lost interest in promoting this, and I think they was trying to do the promotion for ELO, weren't they? Which is a shame, really. I mean, I always think the Move was really, really good band. Although by this time, there was only really Roy Wood and Bevan on this record that was from the original Move, weren't they? Because Jeff Lynne didn't come in till near the end of the Move, did he? Yeah. So yeah. So that is like one that got me into the Move properly and into ELO. If you wanted to buy this record, an original one like this, you probably would be paying quite a bit for it. I know I didn't pay a lot for this, but I know I've seen it on eBay, and it does go up to. I'm not saying this copy's worth it. That goes anywhere up to 150 quid. Very good album. If you can ever get it, whether it's a reissue or the original, just get it. The next one is The Who. Me to be to big and bouncy. And this was like one of the first ever Who records I got. And it is a compilation album. You get I Can't Explain, The Kids Are All Right, Happy Jack, I Can See for Miles, Pictures of Lily, My Generation, and The Seeker. Side 2, Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere, Pinball Wizard, A Legal Matter, Boris the Spider, The Magic Bus, Substitute, and I'm a Boy. And this is actually an American copy. It's not the British copy. I do have the British copy. So this is stereo, and it's on the American version of Decca. Again, so it's a gatefold sleeve. And then that's the back cover. I think it's good because like you've got on there, you got that's the Who into it, and that's supposed to be them as kids. And then if that you've got the kids in the window and the Who there. Really, really nice songs on it. I say it's on Decca. It's actually on MCA. Decca must have like been part of MCA in America then. So that's side 1. And that is side 2. Again, I think I bought this in the mid-70s. Like I said, I bought this one first, and then I got the British one. So I thought the British one was different, but it's not. It's the exact same track list and everything. Just the British one is on Track Records, which was part of Polydor. And I think it was actually re-released on Polydor in the UK. So that's probably what happened here. It's on Decca, and then it's probably been re-released on MCA. So that is the album that got me into the Who. Then I got the Who Story. Then I got Quadrophenia. And then I got Tommy. And then I got My Generation, if I remember rightly. Again, not worth a great deal, probably worth about £20, but to me, priceless. Because me and my dad used to sit listening to this. And unfortunately, my dad's not with us anymore. So, like I said, these aren't the most valuable records I've got, but they're the ones that are dearest to my heart. Next up, David Bowie. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. This was like Bowie's sort of like breakthrough album, wasn't it? Although in some ways I do prefer Hunky Dory to this, but track for track, I still think this is a brilliant song, brilliant record. So you've got 5 Years, Soul Love, Moon Age Daydream, Starman, It Ain't Easy, Side 2, Lady Stardust, Star, Hang On to Yourself, Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City, and Rock and Roll Suicide. And this was like the first proper album to have the Spiders from Mars as we'd know them today. Because I think on Hunky Dory, I think Tony Visconti was still on bass, wasn't he? Where it's Trevor Boulder on here. So it's David Bowie, guitar, sax, and vocals. Mick Ronson, guitar, piano, and vocals. Trevor Boulder, bass, and Mick Woodmansey, drums. Arrangements, Bowie and Mick Ronson. Album production, David Bowie and Ken Scott at Trident Studios in London. So this was actually the first David Bowie album I ever got. And the reason I got it was because I think it was a friend of my sister's had got it. And once I started getting into records, he says, "Oh, have you got any David Bowie?" And I goes, "Oh, no." And he goes, "Oh, I can have this." Now it's got the original in the sleeve. The lyrics. I'm not sure if it is actually original copy or not. No, I think it is. RCA Victor, 1972 RCA Records, a Gem production, and it's SF 8287. Titanic Music, Chrysalis Music, all tracks composed by David Bowie. So it doesn't say main man on it, does it? Yeah. Yeah, 1 to 4, Titanic Music, Chrysalis Music, no main man. And track 5 on side 1, It Ain't Easy, was by Ron Davis, which is Ron Dort music. Now it has got a nasty scratch there, but it does actually play lovely. So I think this is the one where if it doesn't say main man on anywhere on it, I think it is actually worth quite a bit of money. Could be wrong. And no, me, I will be wrong. Probably the way around. It's probably if it does say main man. Yeah, it says a Gem production. It doesn't say anything about main man on there, does it? I mean, they always say the man who sold the world was David Bowie's like heavy rock album, don't they? And then Hunky Dory was like his pop stroke singer songwriter album. And then this was his first like rock album, well, pop rock album. But to me, I think he looks more like a punk rocker there. Not the clothes, but his hairstyle, because he had like spiky hair, didn't he? Yeah. Again, probably worth about 30 or 40 quid, maybe a little bit more. But for me, it's priceless because that is the record that got me into David Bowie and glam rock. So through that, I started listening to things like T-Rex and Slade, and people like that. The Sweet, remember the Sweet? Yeah. Actually, forgot how nice that was. Which you do when you have as many records as me, you do sometimes forget. Right, the next one is Queen, and it's Queen's debut LP, otherwise known as Queen One. Again, I think this was recorded at Trident Studios. So side one is Keep Yourself Alive, Doing All Right, Great King Rat, and My Fairy King. Side two is Liar. The Night Comes Down, Modern Times Rock and Roll, Sons and Daughters, Jesus, and Seven Seas of Rye. But it's only like a snippet of Seven Seas of Rye on here. And obviously, Seven Seas of Rye was their like breakthrough hit, wasn't it? But I think that's on Queen 2 into the proper version of it. Keep Yourself Alive was a moderate hit. Some nice photos of the band there. The front cover. Spine's okay-ish. Don't think we got in a sleeve with us, did you? A Trident Audio Production, 1973. Manufactured in Great Britain. I think this is just on the plain EMI label, isn't it? So, actually in nice condition, this is. Again, it's not one I play all the time, but this is the one that got me into Queen. That's side one. That is side two. And I didn't get this till probably 1977, 1978. Could have even been 1979, thinking about it. And the only reason I got this is because I saw it and I thought, Queen. Then I looked on the back and I'm thinking Freddie Mercury. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. Because the famous thing was, this is, if you don't know the story, I'm very, very sorry. And if you do know the story, I'm sorry as well, because apparently Queen was in a recording studio and Sid Vicious walked in. And apparently him and Sid Vicious and Freddie Mercury had a bit of an argument, and Freddie actually got Sid Vicious up by his neck and says, I don't well care who you are, get out, we're trying to record, or something like that, something along them lines. And that's why I bought that, because I thought, Queen. I mean, I saw a new Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, sort of, because like when that was a big hit, I was in like 8 or 9. And I thought, all right, so I got this, and that is what actually got me into Queen. And you know, I do like Queen. I like a lot of the songs. Virtually every album that they made, I do like. There's a couple where I think they're not that brilliant, sort of thing, but they've still got good songs on. So yeah, so that's Queen, and I think that is an original. Again, it's probably not worth a great deal, probably worth about 25, 30 quid. But to me, like I say, I only bought this because of the Sid Vicious thing, and then that actually got me into Queen. That's what I'm saying. They're not, that's why they're special to me. They're not. It's not the value. It's why I bought them, and then what got me to do afterwards. The next one probably isn't a surprise because we've done a video on this, which is Dirt Wears White Socks, which was the debut album from Adam and the Ants. And although it's got Car Trouble on it and things like that, at the time there wasn't a single actually released from this. And I actually saw Adam and the Ants probably just before they made this. They were like the warm pact for, I can't remember, Stiff UK Subs or somebody like that. And then when I saw this, and I thought, oh, Adam and the Ants, yeah, I can remember that, yeah. So I went out and bought this, and I was hooked. Obviously, when I saw him, all the songs that he was singing, nobody knew. I think he did a version of Catholic Day, and he might have done a version of Animals and Men and possibly Car Trouble. The rest of it was all stuff like Bondage and Naughty Things and things like that. And then obviously, no, I bought this just after. Yeah, so it must have been late 79, early 1980 when I saw Adam and the Ants, right? So this album could possibly have been out. This was released in 79. And then I can remember seeing Adam and the Ants on Top of the Pops very early in 1980 doing Dog Eat Dog. And I said to my sister at the time, so I was seeing him. She goes, you can't see him. He's going to be the next big pop star. So I saw him as support act. And then I went out and bought this. So that is the one that got me into Adam and the Ants. Although I had seen Adam and the Ants, but I didn't really know who they were, if that made sense. and then that, you know, got me into Adam and the Ants. Adam and the Ants. I think this is the best album they ever did. Kings of Wild Frontier comes a close second, but really that's a completely different lineup apart from Adamant. This is, you know, Kings of Wild Frontier is a different band to this. There's only Adamant in this, and Adamant on Kings of the Wild Frontier. All the rest of the musicians are completely different. Prince Charming album, I can take it or leave it, to be honest. And then some of his solo albums I like, some of his solo albums I don't. As a whole, I do still like Adamant. We was going to go and see him, but it's like really, really silly money to go and see. And then so this last one, I mean, that is an original, not worth a great deal, probably worth around the £20 mark. But again, to me, priceless because of the memories. This is an album called This Is Big Audio Dynamite, and it's by Big Audio Dynamite. And Big Audio Dynamite was a Mick Jones of the Clash got sacked, and so he decided to form a new band. And that's the labels. So you got things on here like the big hit was E = MC squared. Somebody I never met, but anyway I know. Didn't think that you could get so much from a picture show. The Bottom Line, that's a good song. Sony, A Medicine Show. Big Audio Dynamites, Mick Jones, vocals and guitar. Don Letts, FX vocals. Greg Roberts, drums and vocals. Dan Donovan, keyboards and vocals. Now, Dan Donovan went on to go out with Patsy Kensit, didn't he? And although Dan Donovan is actually credited on there, he's not on it because he was actually the photographer. Again, A Party, Sudden Impact, Stone Times, Bad. When I'm alone, my woman won't leave me alone, and that's bad, so bad. And then the album after this, they did another album after this, and Joe Strummer co-produced it. But that one is the original, and I paid all of £2 for that back in the day, which was about 1983, I think, 84, something like that. And these were one of the first bands to actually use sampling, which became very big just after that. So that's going to be it. So that is my 10 albums that actually mean a lot to me, but aren't necessarily worth anything. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you're subscribing, thank you very much. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. I have to get these teeth sorted out. So until the next video, that's going to be it. So thank you very much. And whatever you're doing, stay safe, and I will see you very, very soon. So Beatle Dave from Derby in the UK, signing off. Thank you very much.